Welcome back to Daily DeFi. Today is June 8th of 2021, Tuesday. Hope everyone's doing well. Today we'll be covering some things with Bitcoin as it fell in this descending triangle as I have it drawn out. A lot of people panicked and we're seeing a lot of these top decentralized finance tokens down today. So pretty much everything's in the red today on the 24-hour time frame. So we'll take a look at Reef, Fantom, Chainlink, also this newest IDO to launch on the Launchpad OccamRazor. I've done a deep dive video into OccamRazor. This is a Cardano Launchpad. The other one we'll talk about is Microstrategy, how they bought a bunch of Bitcoin. And usually in the past, we've seen these positive reactions off of this in both Bitcoin and Microstrategy, but this time it's a little bit different. They're kind of buying the dip. This is what you have to keep in mind is these fake outs, just like people may have thought that, oh, this was the real breakout. If you were back in this time frame on the 3rd of June, you may have thought this was a bit of a breakout. You may have thought this was a bit of a breakdown. Same with here. This could be a fake out, but really what we want to look for is a confirmed bounce. So we'll go back to Daily DeFi, DeFi Pulse and Juicy NFTs here in a second. But I did want to show you this real quick. And by the way, we are on that 1 hour time frame. So this is pretty vital, in my opinion, what's going to happen. What you want to look for is something like this to happen. And you want it to look for, at least on the 1 hour, ideally we get it closed on the 4 hour where we push back into the pattern. I've said that this is a key level to watch because this is a key level of support right here, right? So if we come here, maybe test, whoops, sorry about that. Yeah, here we go. If we come here and test these levels, most likely what we'll have is a little bit of a reaction, right? So we could have a reaction. Now, if we go here and bounce off, that's where we're going to hit this price target, which again, keep in mind, I recorded multiple videos breaking down this technical analysis, but basically the base of this triangle is how you measure the measurement price breakout. But you have to keep in mind the alternative scenario, which is if you call this, I personally am looking at this more as a descending triangle. I've talked about this in the past. But if you're looking at this as a symmetrical triangle and you're drawing it like this, which by the way, let me get rid of that. If you're looking at it as a symmetrical triangle and you're drawing it more like this, then you're a bit more scared, right? Because and we can draw it like that if you want, but the key thing to keep in mind here, guys, is if we really, really break down out of these levels, so let's get rid of this for a second. Oops. Let's get rid of this line. Get rid of that. Okay, so if we really go here and then just continue to push down, this is where I'm targeting. And this is actually a nice short position. So that's the thing that I think a lot of people don't realize is this man, you have to price these things in. And by the way, we would actually want to change this a little bit, right? So let's be conservative and do this. The measurement price target then out of this breakout, let's just say this is the actual breakout, is similar, right? So it's closer to that $20,000 level where we have that key support kind of down here, right? This was like the previous all-time high. So keep that in mind. That's really what's pushing these alts down. So don't panic. I mean, personally, I typically increase my overall portfolio in crypto when we have these market dumps because I'm able to trade it. I do sometimes like to short things when they're oversold. Go watch yesterday's global TA video where I talk about all these indicators you can use. So EMA, RSI, SSL, Bollinger Bands. I talked about a bunch of different ones, then some advanced patterns that you can also use. Definitely do not miss that global TA video. That's very important. But back to Daily DeFi, I keep calling this Daily DeFi. DeFi Pulse, so we just use it every day in Daily DeFi. So DeFi Pulse and Juicy NFTs. So the total value locked in decentralized finance sits at $60.45 billion. Aave dominance is at 15.21%, while DeFi Pulse index sits at 352.07, so down about 8%. Similar to what Bitcoin did. I mean, if you look at this, you just measure that little price drop right there. You can see how, why these things are falling the way they are, right? So you can see Bitcoin, fell, let me zoom this in a bit. Fell almost 8%, right? Closer to 6%, but you get the point here. That would have been a nice little short position off that kind of double top right here, right? So this, for example, if we zoom in, all right, so this is a moving average. This is yellow line, and we went to retest this. Boom, we hit this double top, and if you're not even using the EMA ribbon, that would be a potential sign. So that M pattern that we were going to have that breakdown right there, right? Because it's a bearish reversal pattern. So we hit that double top. Then we had that massive breakdown Plus, we're in this triangle pattern. Whether you're drawing it as symmetrical or another doesn't truly matter. But one of the things you can take in mind, and then we'll get back to DeFi Pulse, I just want to kind of lay this out for you guys, is we are kind of in this descending wedge currently, right? So you could draw a bit like this, like that. There we go. And then sometimes you can just duplicate this so it's easier. Duplicate. I mean, you can draw it like this. That. There we go. Okay. So you can see we're seeing lower highs and lower lows, right? So low, high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So this is technically a bullish pattern. So keep that in mind in all of this kind of madness right here. This is not a wick. Remember, that's the measurement price target. So really be wary of these things with the Bitcoin price, because we could push back up into the pattern and just have a reversal come back up here and push up to those, what is that? The $48,000 level. So be prepared for both scenarios is the point. So back here, Aave dominance, we talked about that. You can see everything broke down there. Let's move on to juicy NFTs. Volume is staying actually fairly steady from yesterday. Pretty surprising. This is usually incredibly volatile. So 24 hours, about $2.3 million worth of daily NFT volume. CryptoPunks is holding that top spot, and everything's getting a lot of volume. So that's good to see. But yeah, CryptoPunks and Sandbox Lands typically are the two that get the most volume. So why MicroStrategy's latest $400 million Bitcoin buy is different from the others? So prices in MicroStrategy stock and bond dipped on the news. So as I said in the beginning of this episode, typically in the past, we see a positive reaction off of this because you see, MicroStrategy consistently buying up Bitcoin, but it was kind of the reversal today, right? So it didn't turn out the best for this. So in the sale, MicroStrategy is ensuing senior secured notes that will mature in 2028. In previous bond sales, MicroStrategy sold convertible senior notes. They've been doing a lot of this, where they're just basically converting notes derived in fiat, so derived in US dollars in this case, and putting it into Bitcoin. So quite interesting. It dipped 3% today, settling just below $470. I do own a bit of MicroStrategy. I don't own a ton, but it's kind of like it's a nice play on Bitcoin. If you want to own, I would prefer MicroStrategy over GBTC, which is just basically like Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. Okay, so moving on from here, OccamRazor is launching Ledgity.com. So the Occam Association welcomes Ledgity, the first digital private banking infrastructure project to be built on Cardano, right? So any project that is actually launching now, since Cardano isn't fully launched, has to kind of, be prepared to convert over to Cardano. They can create it to be on Cardano, but if they actually want to go live with the project, currently they can't really use Cardano. So that's kind of the thing. So as initial DEX offerings partners, developed and based in France with joint offices in Switzerland, Ledgity was created to build a fair and inclusive financial system running atop the Cardano blockchain, bridging the gap between on-chain and off-chain financial world. Professional investors often seek out assets with the greatest value, such as real estate, private equity, and venture capital, art, and other liquid assets. However, these assets are often difficult for the average investor to access. For Ledgity, inclusivity means that everyone should be provided the same investment opportunity. So I completely agree. I really am bullish on tokenized real estate. I've thought a lot about kind of teaming up with other people to build a project in this because, there is something like Labs Group, which I like Labs Group. There is Realty for tokenized real estate, but I really think, this idea of global tokenized real estate, which I tour a lot of real estate opportunities. I'm currently here in Tbilisi, Georgia. And when I'm traveling around the world, that's one of the things where it's like, man, if someone in Singapore or someone in Nepal is able to have a tokenized, just a fraction of an apartment or even a house in here in Tbilisi, Georgia, or Batumi on the Black Sea, it's pretty incredible. It's something that's never been able to be done before throughout all of history until really now with blockchain technology, where it's verifiable that you own this piece. Okay. You can see everything's kind of had this dip, right? In the DeFi market, obviously DAI is a stablecoin. This massive dip, kind of this descending wedge that we're currently in, dip, everything's that way. So Chainlink, this is obviously the top dog Oracle project. We love Chainlink here at Invest Global. So rank 14 on about over half a million watch list. Market cap is about what, 10.6 billion, fully diluted 24.7 billion, up about 11%. Volume up about what, 64% at a 1.4 billion. Kind of in this, we did this pump, we got all the way up to that, what did we get to 50? Yeah, 52. Wow. Still can't believe I was buying this a long time ago. I'll just say that. So I've had some nice gains off Chainlink. I mean, even where it sits now is pretty incredible, right? So because just back in July of 2020, we were at $7.49. Okay, so moving on to Fantom FTM. By the way, Chainlink, if we continue this bull run, which I personally think we will, I mean, we could be in a short-term miniature bear market inside a longer-term bull market, which most likely is what will happen, to be quite honest with you. I've talked about this in past videos several times. You have to kind of zoom out, take the long-term view, and understand that these dips actually are necessary. So Fantom FTM ranked 94, right around 30 cents, down about 15% on the daily. Market cap is about $750 million. Let's see, volume is about 70 million, up about 20% on the daily. This one had that massive pump and dump, but now it's kind of retraced to these, these kind of our key support levels right here, right? So it's just kind of moving sideways at these levels. We kind of hit that double top again there, right? So we hit that double top. We're kind of pushing down. We could see Fantom moving further down. Potentially a nice opportunity to hop into Fantom. Obviously not financial advice. Do your own research. Link for that video down below in the description. So Reef right here, REEF, on about what, 120,000 watch list. Market cap is $285 million, right around 2 cents on the daily, down about 11%. Let's see, volume up 27%. Volume is $64 million. I've talked a lot about, Reef should be a multi-billion-dollar market cap project. I've done multiple videos on this in the past. If you want me to make an updated one, just let me know in the comments. So that's pretty much all for today's Daily DeFi. Reef out of all of these is the one that hasn't retraced as much. It really hasn't had that massive pump that everything else has had. So quite interesting. That's all for this one. If you enjoyed it, like, subscribe button all. Let me know in the comments what you want to see in the next video. Go ahead and join the Telegram group if you've made it this far into the video. Just like-minded investors in that group talking about investing, global investment strategies, crypto, whatever. So go check that out. Absolutely free. That's all for this one. Invest global, and until next time.